The Wrestle Review. What the world is watching.
Welcome to another edition of Wrestle Review. Of course, you know me. You know, I'm so nice to the ladies, they pay me twice. RK Stud. And here's my
partner in crime, as you said earlier today.
Partner in crime, and he's a pimp, but he doesn't get paid, so he has tears, Tony Beers.
Hello, everybody.
And first, we'd like to start off this edition with our sincerest apologies and deepest regrets for the sudden passing of Perro Aguayo Jr. He passed away during a match last night, taking a fluke 619 from now former WWE star Rey Mysterio. So we do humbly regret this, and we feel sorry and our deepest sincere regrets to his family.
Yeah.
And on to make it a somber note, we're doing a review on a movie called Body Slam.
Yeah. That was a great segue.
I couldn't think of anything better. Mid-'80s, the rock and wrestling period. Dirk Benedict stars in this from the A-Team. He plays a music promoter who's way down on his luck financially and cons and schemes his way throughout his life, it seems like. He mistakes himself into the wrestling business and ends up promoting just a small band and a couple wrestlers, with having Captain Lou Moreno, played by Captain Lou Albano, upset at him.
Big stretch.
Yeah.
He's playing himself, yeah.
And so Dirk Benedict's character, he manages both a band called Kick and
two wrestlers.
Quick Rick Roberts and Taga Tom, played by both Roddy Piper and Sam Fatu. And so his rock and wrestling theme goes on where he promotes both of them at the same time. And Captain Lou gets upset at him and decides winner take all. Big match.
Yeah, that's the climax of the movie, is this match that they have. And the stakes are whoever loses has to give up the contracts of the wrestlers. So
the other manager, and they have to basically retire from wrestling, get out of the business. And throughout this whole theme, of course, you had Dirk Benedict's character fell in love with the beautiful blonde girl who's played by Tanya Roberts, who was the hot mom in That 70s Show.
That brings me to my biggest complaint about this movie. It's not a bad movie, but what's the title? Slam?
Body Slam.
Body Slam. You know, and that's the thing, is it really doesn't have that much to do with wrestling. I mean, Dirk Benedict is the main character, and he is the promoter or manager, and the movie is mainly about him. Wrestling is like the side story, you know, and the first half of this movie is like a romantic comedy. He's trying to get this girl. And that's what the majority of the first half of the movie is. And so you know, for a movie called Body Slam, I mean, there's wrestling in it, but it happens mostly towards the end. Of course,
it's a cheesy 80s movie where the guy's going after the girl, and somehow by the end of the movie, he ends up with her.
Right. Right. Even though
and he becomes a better person.
Yeah, he becomes a better person. Yeah, and that's the thing, is, you know, they want you to root for Dirk Benedict's character, and he's pretty much a scumbag in ways, or con man, or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, there wasn't scumbags that was actually in the movie. I mean, you had the Korean guy that wanted to repossess the house, and he brought.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing, is they made him out to be a bad guy, but he just wanted to get paid. Dirk Benedict's character owed him money. And he just wanted the money that he's owed. I mean, I didn't see that as being a bad guy to me, you know.
True, but
he did some illegal things, you know, to get his money. You know, there's a running joke where he keeps wrecking his car. So, you know, that is wrong. But, you know, he was doing it for the right reasons. I mean, Dirk Benedict wasn't paying him his money that he owed him for a long time. It was a lot of money too. It was $6,000, something like, I don't know. It seemed like a lot of money, especially in the 80s.
Couldn't tell with the Korean accent. Oh, and they were trying to. And this movie was also so anti-PC.
I mean, I think it's a sign of the times, actually. I mean, for an 80s movie, it's perfectly fine. But some people watching it today would be like, "Oh, that's racist," or that's homophobic, or whatever they might say. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that's just a sign of times. People are just more sensitive nowadays, in my opinion. Too sensitive, but yeah.
Too sensitive, but it wasn't like they were throwing the gay slanders either. They pretty much had little midget actor Billy Barty saying.
See, now so
one.
people would say that's what
Midget.
you just, that midget is offensive.
Vertically challenged.
Vertically, they say little people is the correct term, but I think I'm not sure, but I think midget is like a medical term. I don't know, but I mean that's gets to my point. Everybody's too sensitive nowadays. But go ahead.
They had Billy Barty saying the F word, not the big one, but a slanderous one to homosexual people.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's kind of his character too. He is this mean little guy.
Yes, he is.
So I frankly, I thought it was hilarious whenever he would say it, because he just didn't care.
Yeah, you were laughing.
He was like, I was, and what's funny, what made it more funny is that he was saying it whenever Charles Nelson Riley is on the screen, and I don't know if
Charles
he is,
Nelson Riley is.
If he is in real life, if he ever came out and said it, but everybody always assumed that he was gay. So that's what makes this doubly funny, because apparently his character isn't gay, and he, again, like you said, he is a bad guy in the. Kind of a bad guy in the movie, so I can forgive him for that.
And well, the Korean thugs were Alpha and Seek of the Wild Samoans.
Yeah, so they weren't even Korean.
I know, all they did was just wreck the cars.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny myself. I thought it was a nice running gag that he has to get a new car every single time he's visited by these guys.
How anti-PC this movie is for the times.
For now, for then, it was. I think it was okay.
Then it would be okay. Now it's not.
Yeah, people wouldn't like it now.
But there was a little bit of good humor in it, and you were laughing a lot, and I was like, okay.
I wasn't laughing a lot. I mean, I was laughing at Billy Barty's character. I just thought he was hilarious, and and I was laughing a couple times here and there, but honestly, I don't think that it's a very funny movie, to be honest with you. I think the movie we saw before, the Bad Guys, I thought that was funnier.
Yeah.
Maybe because it was a little bit more over the top, but this one played it somewhat serious, and I don't know, it just wasn't that funny. And Dirk Benedict, you could tell he's trying. With what he's got, they didn't. It's just not that good. So I don't blame him at all. It's kind of the material's just kind of weak. That's all.
What do you think of Roddy Piper's performance? Me personally, it was almost kind of like he was playing himself.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I don't know. But this one, he's the good guy, but I believe I don't know wrestling too well, but I believe he's the bad guy in wrestling. He's the heel.
At that time period, he was the heel, yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit of a stretch for him, to play the good guy, I guess. But I thought he was I thought he was good. I mean, I've told you this before. I'm ever since I saw him.
I believe it's They Live, yeah.
I was like, he's actually a pretty good actor in that movie. This one, he's okay. I mean, but I was like, they should really give him more work as an actor. I think he's good enough. Yeah.
And the reason we watch this right now is because the upcoming Motor City Comic Con trip, Roddy Piper will be there.
Yes. Yep.
Overall, it wasn't too bad of a movie. I mean, it was made by Orion Pictures. I don't think they're in business anymore.
I don't know.
So overall, what do you think?
Overall, it's not my type of movie. I'll probably never ever see this movie again. But when I did see it, I was somewhat entertained. It gets better after it gets past the romantic comedy stuff, that's the worst part of the movie in my opinion. But they were setting up the wrestling stuff and stuff like that. I think once it gets to the wrestling, the rock and wrestling, it gets more interesting to me. So it's not a bad movie at all, but it's not very good. I have to be completely honest with you. And I chuckled in parts, and it's worth seeing once or to just to pass the time. If nothing else is on in this, if you like wrestling and this piqued your interest, I would recommend seeing it once. Probably never again.
Okay.
It was funny enough. It kept me entertained. So that's about all I can say. Well, to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a C-.
C-? That's it's about fair. I give that one to you. Okay. I mean, there wasn't much wrestling action. The acting was so. I personally thought it was better when I was younger, when I'd see bits and pieces. But this is the first time I've actually seen the full movie. Mm-hmm. And I gotta say, I'm like, this isn't Bad Guys.
No.
Bad Guys had the laughs and everything to it. It had the wrestling action. Oh, and don't forget they had a little girl playing Roddy Piper's niece.
Yeah. And
they were playing some sort of that sweet kitty.
Yeah.
Innocent to it. Yeah, I'm just like you. I'm giving it a C, It's watchable.
Yeah.
Once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
If you're bored and you're like, I haven't seen this in 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you're right on the thing. I wish it would have been better, but
yeah.
I guess you remember some things better when you were younger than you do now.
Well, I mean, you have a bit of a bias since you're a big wrestling fan. So, I mean, like a person like me, I'm like, whatever.
It didn't even have that much wrestling action in it to entertain me.
Yeah, but you gotta bring up, it had some pretty good cameos. Go ahead and list them.
They had some nice cameos. We had the late classy Freddie Blassie was in there. You pencil neck geek. Sheik Adnan Al Casey, big from the world class in the AWA days in the 80s. You had the first true WWF champion, Bruno Sammartino. And, woo! Slick Ric Flair himself, ladies.
For 2 seconds, yeah. So.
Yes, they did. So if you want to maybe check this out. Like I said, I'm just giving this a C.
Alright.
And that's all for now. Anything else?
Nah.
RK Stud?
Tony Beers.
See you next time.
Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.